Hi guys, and welcome back to the Sage Yourself channel, or as we call it, Reiki Zen. How are we all doing? Are we well? I just noticed I've had to position you in a different way because I was charging my phone up. However, get rid of that. However, then I realised that I can't charge my phone up and use my microphone in the phone at the same time, so I've had to unplug to take it off charge and put my microphone in so you can hear me properly and hear the lovely music in the background and all that. So you've got a good view of paintings and there we go, Buddha and all my bits and bobs behind me and those paintings and what have you. So yeah, so let's get back to it. Let's get back onto what we're going to talk about today. I've got a few videos lined up for the channel. Today's video is going to be about the third eye and what we can experience or what can happen when our third eye starts to open and when we start to awaken. Other videos that I'm going to talk about is about vibration, what vibration is, the various frequencies that we can be at, and a lot of that sort of awakening, what is awakening, and there's lots of those sorts of videos, but I thought I'd start off with talking about the third eye and what can happen when the third eye starts to open. And it's a very interesting subject. It's quite complex and it's quite deep and it affects everybody in totally unique and different ways as everyone goes through their own awakening journey on their own. However, this will be kind of a broad spectrum of things that you can expect to happen during the various processes of your third eye opening or awakening. So in the beginning, when you start going through the process of your third eye opening, you might start to feel a bit of, you might feel slightly disengaged from the world because you start to see things a little bit differently. Not totally differently, but little things. You might start questioning things and looking at things and reanalyzing things with a new vision, a new perspective of things, and it may make you feel a little bit glum, a little bit downhearted. You may start to question things, you may start to question yourself, you may start to question your sanity, and other people around you will probably try to steer you back on the track of their understanding of things, but you've got to come to the realization and understanding when these things do happen that you were on this path for a reason, you were on this awakening journey for a reason, and the reason being is that your soul is ready. You have asked for this. When you've come back to live this earthly life, you have asked for this experience to awaken, to be present, to be aware of what we truly are, who we really are, and what this life really is about. And when we're in these early stages of trying to figure things out, try to understand things, it can make you question a lot of stuff. And with myself, using myself as an example, I did go through quite a dark time, and you might go through something what a lot of people call the dark night of the soul, where you question a lot of stuff, you question yourself, you ridicule yourself, you talk yourself down, you talk bad of others, because it brings you into kind of it brings you into sort of not a low vibrational state, but you may feel like you're in that place because you have a newer perspective and a newer understanding of things, and it's trying to go through that process and heal that process and understand it for what it is, and it will happen. You will go through the processes of various feelings, various emotions, understanding, seeing things in totally different ways, but this is all part of the processes that we all need to go through individually on this roller coaster ride of fun we call the awakening or the ascension. You may also experience headaches, especially in the temples, in the third eye area, on here or on your crown, because as your third eye starts to open, if you can imagine, like when you see a lotus flower, like when you see with the chakra symbols, if you think of like the lotus flower there, if you see a lotus flower and as it starts to open, the petals opening up, and that is pretty much the same as what the third eye is doing. And so when it's receiving all this new information, what's happening is your energetic body has to deal with that, and it has to understand how your physical body can process it. And again, you have to go through the processes of healing, of leveling up, understanding, and coming to terms with this new way of being, new clarity, new vision, new way of looking at things. You might get totally new ideas, new thoughts, new aspects, new aspirations, and you may start wanting to delve down totally different pathways which you've never been down before. Strange things will start to happen, and you'll start questioning. There's a lot of questioning goes on within this process of awakening. You question yourself, you question the world, you question the narrative, you question others. Why can't they see what I'm seeing? Am I going crazy? Why am I sensing this? Why am I feeling this? And there's a lot of energetic stuff that goes on within your body. I was going to say belly there, happens there as well. But yeah, there's a lot of different things that will happen within your physical and energetic body as it starts to level up and increase this energy. You increase your vibration within you. So you've got the headaches, you're experiencing different things in life, or you're feeling drawn towards different things in life, and you may not even feel drawn to them. They may just pop in front of you, and you might think, oh, that sounds interesting, I really like the sound of that, I'm going to give that a go. And it'll be something that will probably really resonate with you, and you will feel a connection with it. And it's been put there for you for a reason, to put you on a path, to put you on a new way of discovery, a way of discovering yourself, of who you truly are. And we've all been through it when we go through this awakening journey, and this awakening journey and leveling up process never ends. It is ongoing. It is a continuous process of development, of leveling up your energy and going into new things, new understandings, new learning, new abilities. It's a fascinating roller coaster ride of things that do happen. Look at that sun as I'm talking about that shining. Wow, I've got sage all around the room, so I'm all fogged up. But these things may pop into your path. You may also start experiencing what we call synchronicities. So you probably think, well, what? I've heard of the word, but I'm not really sure what it means. And it's a synchronization of energy. And again, what does that mean? Speak English, Ian. Well, a lot of people call them coincidences. So you'll have heard of a coincidence, and I believe there's no such thing as coincidence. It is all synchronicity. There's all these things that are meant to happen, and as your third eye starts to open and as you start to awaken, you will start to experience lots of synchronicities, and synchronicities will continuously keep going all the time. But the very beginning, I mean, now I'm kind of like used to it. I look at my phone, I look at my watch, I look at the time, I look at this, I look at that, and it'll all ping, 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 and I'm just like, oh, okay, thank you, you're there, yes, I understand, I'm aware. But when you first start seeing repeating numbers, repeating words, messages coming through the TV, certain words that resonate with you, and you think, what does that mean? You might start hearing things, you might start seeing things, within your third eye. You might start visualizing things. You may want to start meditating, and you will find you will get very powerful visuals and connections through meditation as well. You'll get a lot of this sort of bing, bang, bong, psh, 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 and stuff that will just fire up, and you're like, why am I seeing all this? What does this mean? What's going on? And it will push you down so many different pathways that you then have to go on I always talk about being your own guru, and you really do need to be your own guru to understand this, to understand what is going on with you, what is going on with the planet, and what is going on with the collective consciousness of humanity as we go through this awakening and this ascension process. But you will be pushed, you will be led by the divine, by the creator, by God, by source, by your spirit team. You will be led down a path. And these things that will come into your path, these synchronicities, will all play out for a reason. And when you start to understand what they mean, they will open new doorways of understanding and learning. And this is where the path of awakening and learning truly starts to begin, because you start to be drawn down pathways of healing, or you probably will be. You'll be drawn down pathways of meditation, which is another form of holistic healing. You may be drawn down pathways of astrology, crystals, tarot, mysticism, esoteric, whatever you want to call it. But all these things will start to happen. You will start to have a very deep connection with your spiritual side, because your third eye, this awakening process, is the connection to the spirit realm. It's the connection to your intuition, which is a psychic ability. It is the connection to clairvoyance. It is the connection to all your clairs. Basically, you will, as your vibration raises and you're leveling up and your third eye is developing, you will be aware of other things that are going on around you. You may get a deeper feeling, a sensing, a knowing, a clairaudience. You might smell things that are around you that you just, well, where's that come from? Colours will be a lot more vivid. You will see things a lot brighter. When you go through an actual spiritual awakening, which is what you are going through if you're experiencing these things, sometimes it can happen like really, really fast, and it'll scare the shit out of you. Other times it'll go very, very gently and gradually. I do know people that have been through quite strong, powerful Kundalini awakenings, really. And I'm going to talk about all the different forms of awakenings in another video. But basically what happens during a Kundalini is your Kundalini energy is, in regards to sort of yogic Sanskrit, it's at your root chakra, it's at your base. And all of a sudden this energy will go, and it'll go straight up your spine, and you will just light up like a flagpole. And all these energy centers, your energy will just like, and all of a sudden you'll be like, what the is going on here? And you will feel so almost, you will feel totally disengaged with reality, and you'll probably have levels of what may seem like paranoia, because you just can't conceive what's going on, because it happens so fast. So when people ask about opening a third eye, working with crystals on the third eye, working to open their third eye, I always say, take it carefully, take it gently. As with any other chakra that we work on, your physical chakras, your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, fine, that's part of you, it's part of who you are, it's where you are in the 3D world, and we need to keep that base strong, because when your spiritual connection starts opening up from your heart and up over, you can feel very pulled, very uprooted. And if you start to get uprooted, it takes a lot of work to get you back into the ground and get you rooted back into the 3D world. And we need the 3D world to exist. Even though we are energetic beings and we can vibrate on a higher frequency, we need the 3D world for our physical health. Because if your physical health goes, then everything else will just drop away gradually, bit by bit. But that's another thing entirely. So as I always say to people, is take your time when you're working with this energy, and when you're going through these processes of awakening. You may, like when I started going through it, I was really fascinated with meditation, because it really helped me heal on so many levels. I had a great connection with crystals, had a great connection with Moldavite, and I meditated with Moldavite quite a lot on my third eye, and that really kind of like boom, that really threw my third eye open, and I was just like, whoa, and I felt it, and I felt what was going on in my head, and it actually felt like a flower opening in my head. I felt all this stuff just waking up inside. I felt tingling on the top of my head. I felt pressure, and colours were so much brighter. Dreams, you will get extremely vivid dreams. You may experience, see, sense or feel spirit energy around you, or energy around you, whatever you want to call it. Aside from the spiritual aspect of things, physically as well, you may be drawn to alternative therapies, alternative ways of living, alternative ways of healing, and coming away from the mainstream, because you start going down a path of understanding what all that is really about, and understanding that this knowing within you about the world, about how it's geared, about how it operates, is all based on one system. Whereas when you start to awaken and you understand, and you look at the works of various people in quantum, such as Dolores Cannon and people like that, you come to the understanding that there is no such thing as sickness. Sickness only exists in this world, and it's basically it's being put on us through stress, through worry, through anger, through overwork, through all the different things that we go through in the 3D world. That our physical body, yes, we need to feel this, and we need to experience this, but we have to also understand that there is no such thing as illness, because it's either been created to make us ill, to create more wealth for you know who, or it's from the Matrix pushing stuff onto us to make us ill, to dumb us down, like the fluoride in the water, the various chemicals in all the medication, the chemicals in food, in agriculture, the stuff being sprayed in the skies. And if you're watching this and you're just on your journey, and you're probably thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? In a couple of years' time, you will look back on this and think, yeah, I know exactly what he's on about now. But by then, things may be a lot different, for good or for worse. We'll see how it plays out. But this awakening process is something that will happen. It has to happen. It's been written about in all the scriptures, all the religious texts, about this connection to the divine, to the return of Jesus, to the return of God. And that's what this is, because we are all God. We are all energy of the universe. We are all universal energy. And that is how we operate, and that is what this energy is within us. You may also look into other ways of feeding yourself, of eating. You might look for more sustainable things that you can eat. You'll probably want to eat less processed food, because you realize how bad it is for your physical body and your energetic body. You might want to drink less alcohol and just reduce it to maybe 1 day a week or something like that. You may totally go off any of your recreational drugs that you might use or anything like that, but you may also incorporate that within your spiritual practice, which I know a lot of people do. I wouldn't recommend it, but a lot of people do try it. But it can kind of knock you really off onto a totally different trajectory, and you need to be really careful with that. Some people may argue, some people may say, it's worked for me, it's been amazing. That's fine, you are your own guru. That's what I always say. Be your own guru and find your own path. You may look into, like I say, alternative practices. You may want to look into various forms of healing, which is something that obviously I looked into, Reiki and other ways of healing holistically, using oils, using incense, using meditation, using mantra, using visualizations, using Reiki, having connection with angelic beings, angelic energies, all this sort of stuff. And again, if you're watching this and you're just starting your path and you're probably thinking, well, that's just like, none of that's real. It is very, very real. And when you come to understand it and feel it, because it is a feel connection, you can sometimes see it if you're in the right sort of wavelength, but a lot of the time it is a feeling. It's a feeling of loving, powerful, loving energy that is there to carry you, guide you, and assist you on your journey. What other things can you experience? I've gone through quite a bit there. But yeah, as you go down each pathway of new learning, you'll probably want to pick up as much information as you can about that subject, about that, whatever it is. But again, take your time with it. Go through the learning gradually, go through the processes gradually. Because if we take on a lot of information, we then have to kind of digest it, we have to let it like sit with us, we have to try and understand it. And when you're going through an awakening process, you know, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes with your spirit team, with you, with your energy. So it really is a careful but almost deliberate path that we need to venture down, but just step by step. I mean, I know I've talked a bit about I've got videos earlier on this channel about my spiritual awakening, what happened to me. I'll actually link that below so you can watch it after this one if you wish. But my spiritual awakening was profound. It was powerful. You know, I came to connect with spirit and saw spirit and connected to my spirit guides and all sorts of things like that. So it's quite an interesting one. But I know a lot of people that have been through, like I say, a lot more deeper, powerful, profound experiences as well. But it really is, it's a journey that is designed individually for your soul, for you. Your spirit team knows exactly what you can manage, what you can cope with, and they will integrate things gradually into you. And step by step you will level up. You may want to force it, you may want to speed things up. I say trust the process. Trust the process as I have done, and every step of the way has been careful, it's been gentle, it's not been overly intrusive, it's not been too powerful, it's just been right for me. Sometimes when people have what we call Kundalini awakenings or these really fast awakenings, they need to have that just to sort of like blam them and really shock them into like, oh crikey, is this really what it's all about? And then all of a sudden they just wake up because they step out of the matrix and the mainstream world and go into a total different path, as we've seen many people do in the past, such as like people like Russell Brand and what have you on his channel. You know, he had such a really traumatic early years with drugs and alcohol and all sorts of various addictions, and now he's just like bump and he's putting all this stuff out there. He has millions of followers and what have you. And you know, I do like quite a lot of his content as well on his channel. I don't like all of it, but I do like some of it. But yeah, so that's a little bit about what can happen when your third eye starts to open, what you can go through, what you can experience. There is so much more, but I've tried to give you kind of a general idea of things that can happen and that do happen. Other things you might be aware of as well, just as a quick add-on, you may start seeing flashes of light around you in the room. You may see things out the corner of your eye. Because you start seeing colours a lot more vividly with your physical eye, the corners of the eye become more, your peripheral vision becomes a lot stronger. So you do start seeing a lot more on the periphery, but you will start seeing flashes of light as well. Again, God, this sage in here is really strong. Again, there's not that much in here actually. Again, that's another clear indication that your third eye is opening. So I'm going to open the windows and let this room air, but I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's helped you on your path of awakening so far. Enjoy the process, enjoy the ride. Much love to you all. Namaste. Take care. If you need any assistance, you want to ask any questions, pop them below. Again, I will link my spiritual awakening video below as well. There's a dog barking. But that's it from me. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.